Alright. Back, man, I had to wet my whistle. And also there was this bowl of chicken in the fridge, so I like scoffed all of it and ran back up here. Oh man, okay, got my drink and stuff. Oh, so now with the first time we made this playthrough, at this point Clover had all that stuff in her pockets, and she also walked away with an axe sticking out of her back, didn't she? But now we can't skip this. Something new is happening here. She may not have the axe anymore. A note? Yeah. I found it in the pocket of the guy with the captain's clothes. It said something about the darkness of the sinister hand or something. Oh, so that's what she had. What the hell? Let me see it. But Junpei wasn't going to get to see it. From the other end of the hall, he heard Ace's voice. Oh, Ace! Hi, Junpei! Clover, what are you two doing? Shut up! Ace! Shut up. Clover shrugged. I'll show it to you later, alright? Come on, we gotta hurry. Before Junpei could protest, she was gone. Around the corner and off down the long stem of the L. A note? A note? Junpei was curious, but there was something else that bothered him. Her pocket had been bulging, far more than it would just from a note. Junpei did his best to convince himself that it would make sense later, and ran off after Clover. Junpei pushed through the door and found himself in a large room with a large set of stairs. It was just what he expected to see after reading the map. Oh, new text already. They reached B deck at the same time. Junpei! Clover! June's face was excited. Something had happened. That much Junpei could tell by simply looking at her. What's up? Oh, they found room 9, didn't they? Given their situation, he was not inclined to be excited about sudden developments. June, however, couldn't contain herself. We found it. Found what? We found it. What did you find? The last door. We found 9. What? Come on, just follow us. We'll explain on the way. Okay, let's go. 7 turned and jogged off down the stairs. The rest followed. We finally made it. The relief and excitement in her voice echoed what each of them felt. Yeah, it's finally time. Junpei wasn't quite ready to believe they'd really done it, at least not just yet. Still, if everyone said that it was door 9, then it probably was. He could feel his heart racing. A mixture of anticipation and fear ran through his veins. He could feel his legs shaking. He was doing his best to maintain a sense of healthy skepticism, but he couldn't deny that the prospect of escape was an exciting one. But there was one thing he couldn't get off his mind. The numbered door would only accommodate between 3 and 5 people. There were 7 of them on the way to the 9. That meant that, even with the best case scenario, there would be 2 of them who would have to stay behind. 2 people. He didn't have any solutions to that problem yet, but he was desperately hoping one wouldn't present itself. Junpei looked over at the clock. The hands indicated it was 4:30. They had 90 minutes before their time was up. Hey, Junpei, June, the hell are you two doing? Hurry it up. Santa's voice jolted Junpei out of his reverend. Let's go, Junpei. Let's go. June took off down the stairs, jogging as quickly as she could. Junpei followed. So we can't skip any of this, though we've already seen this stuff. My guess is needed. I wonder if we're gonna end up going through door 2. As a group, they piled into the elevator and rode immediately down to E deck. It looked familiar. There was a metal grate between the 2 elevators. 7 grabbed hold of it and began to talk. I know I told you I'd explain it earlier, but honestly, there ain't much to explain. After we split up after we split off from you guys, the 4 of us got onto the elevator on the left, and that took us to the other side of the grate. And after that, they'd headed down another hallway. It took them toward the bow of the ship, and eventually to number 6 that Junpei and June had found earlier. With 4, they'd been able to open the door they'd been keeping there and keep open. As usual, they'd faced a locked door, but had been forced to complete 2 different areas before they could unlock it. Once they were through that door, there was another hallway that went to the other direction, towards the stern. So, on your way you found the elevator? Yeah, that's right. So in other words, you kinda did a lap, huh? You came from that side to this side. Yeah. With that settled, Junpei looked around. So, where's this number 9 door then? Over here. Follow me. 7 began walking down a hallway that led toward the stern. Junpei and the others broke into a jog to keep up with him. They've been walking for a while, June in a silent step with Junpei when she spoke. You know, it's because of Santa that we're all here right now. Huh? That all 7 of us are going to door 9. You don't get it? Santa, 7, and Lotus? What's that digital route? It's 9. That's right. They could have just left me behind and kept going if they wanted to. But they didn't. Yeah. Because Santa wouldn't let them. He said we can't leave June behind. That's why we went looking for you guys. And then you got on the elevator and went back to the central staircase. That's right. Well, I wouldn't have called that one. That Santa would be one to stick up for you, I mean. Junpei felt his eyebrows knit as he considered that. I don't know, I really like Santa, man. I think he's probably my favorite character. Santa's probably my favorite dude. I really like Snake for his, you know, his actions at the end of the last playthrough, but Santa just in general, I really like that guy. Oh, don't get me wrong. Perhaps June had sensed Junpei's concern. I don't mean that 7 and Lotus said they wanted to leave him behind. We were just talking about it, and Santa objected to it first. But why would he do that? Why would he want all of us at 9? Is it simply because he really wants us all to leave? Or is it because there's a plan? Why did he disappear when June had her little fever fit? And who was that girl that supposedly died in the previous nonary game 9 years ago? It's you and Santa that are fucking with me, June. You're the two that ain't adding up right now. As much as I love Santa, there is a grey mark. 7 suddenly stopped. In front of them stood a door. So is this... Junpei couldn't see 7's face, but he could see him nod. Well, there's no other place to go? Nope. Just look around. At the end of the hallway was a thick iron wall. To the left and right, other hallways led to the port and starboard sides of the ship. But they were both closed off by thick metal grates. It looked as though 7 was right. The door in front of them was their only choice. Alright, let's get moving. He pulled open the door and walked in. Junpei took a deep breath and followed. It appeared they'd been telling the truth. Oh shit. The first thing Junpei saw as he entered the room was the number 9. Like all the others, it was a rough thing, made of red paint. The door it decorated sat on the back wall of a rectangular room. Junpei ran up to it. It was a large double door with powerful styling. Something about it was almost majestic, and it made the red paint look especially garish. Junpei grabbed the handle and shook. It didn't budge, but then he hadn't really expected it to. The red was bolted to the wall next to the door. Its display read vacant. Finally, they'd arrived. Junpei felt a flood of emotion wash over him. Yeah, well, don't get jumping for joy just yet, man. I'm pretty sure there's a few twists and turns before this story ends. He felt a chill down his back and his chest tightened even as his blood began to boil. He was about to speak when... Junpei, look behind you. He turned around. Junpei could scarcely believe what he saw. A door and a knife. There was another one. Hey, what the hell? What the hell is going on here? His words came slowly and his brain struggled to understand what he'd seen. On shaky legs he made his way to the second nine. It was a small door, set parallel to the door they'd come through, but on the other corner of the room. 9. There was no mistaking the number. And if any proof was needed, a red was bolted to the wall near the door. He grabbed the handle and shook the door, not because he expected it to open, but because he had to make sure it was even real. Why the hell are there 2 doors? It was Ace who spoke first. Do you think perhaps one is the right door and the other is the wrong one? Lotus was skeptical. I don't know about that. That seems unlikely. What makes you say so? Well, think about all the rooms we've been through so far. They're full of puzzles, but there are always hints about how to solve them. I'm pretty sure there aren't any rooms where you just had to go with our best guess and leave it to instinct to solve the puzzle. Do you really think that at the very end of the game, Zero's going to suddenly throw in something that depends entirely on luck? Then you're saying there's some sort of hint in this room. No, I don't think that's a hint. There's a hint anywhere in here. I searched it very well when I was in here before. I didn't find anything that might have been a hint, though. Well, then that means... Yeah, both of these are the right door. I mean, if you think about it, Zero never actually said there was only one door with a 9 on it. The exit is hidden, but it is there. Seek the exit. Seek the door that carries a 9. Junpei began to mutter to himself. So if there are 2 number 9 doors, if we split up right, that's not gonna work. Junpei blinked and looked up at Clover. She held out her hand. You've got a notebook and a pen, right? Can I borrow them? Slightly confused, he pulled them out and handed them to her. She's insane with these sudden number crunchings, man. She's like, nope! Sorry, motherfucker, that ain't gonna work! Look, I've done the maths! Look at this. Clover opened the notebook to a blank page and set it down on the desk. Everyone else gathered around her and watched as she wrote down a series of numbers. You get it? The numbers on the top are all of the combinations with digital roots of 9. The numbers on the bottom are the people who don't fit. There's only 8 possibilities if we split up into 2 groups of 3 or 4 people. So, if 3 people go through the door, then 4 are left behind. If 4 go through, then 3 are left behind, right? Clover nodded, almost as if she were pleased with herself for solving a difficult math problem. The room went very quiet. Silence lay across everyone like a thick, heavy blanket. No one spoke. Their faces were blank. Desperate for something else to look at, Junpei turned his eyes to the room around him. As he did, he began to wonder, what was it? The walls were covered in candles. The wavering flame made the shadows of Junpei and his companions look as though they were dancing. 2 rows of wooden pews filled most of the room. Between them was a strip of rich red carpet. The carpet ran straight through the room, ending at the door that pointed to the stern of the boat. At the other end of the carpet, an altar? It was a recessed space set into the wall between 2 other doors. Sitting on a raised section of the altar was a coffin. A coffin? No, it couldn't possibly be. But if it wasn't, then whose body occupied it? That was as far as Junpei wanted to pursue that line of thought. He decided not to think about the coffin, for the time being. Yeah, that was a really eerie situation, like a discovery. I really wouldn't have. Me, if I was in that position, I would have been like, oh my god, who the fuck is in that? And then I go, just don't, man, just don't. At that moment, Seven spoke. There was an edge of humor to his voice, but it was forced. Okay. I give up. I give up. I figured if we sat through here long enough, someone would volunteer, but I guess nobody's got the guts to do it. Junpei didn't understand, and he wasn't the only one. What? You guys didn't figure it out yet? Fine, fine. I'm Zero! Mastermind, motherfuckers! I had you, and I had you! I'm out of here, bitch! Bang! And just a big white cloud of smoke, we all pass out and die. Game over. Let me enlighten you. Clover was mostly right with her little explanation earlier, but she missed something. She wasn't really wrong, she just... screw it. Let me just write it out. Seven snatched up the notebook and began to write in it. Everyone was clustered around him, desperate for a look. If you're trying to leave with a group of 3 and a group of 4 and get everybody out, Clover's right. But there's another way. Only one combination, though. Wait, I gotta go with Ace, which is Stranger Danger, and Santa, which I like, but this dude, he's got some greys, man. He got some greys. If you split us up into groups of 3 and 3 and 1, you can make this combination. Wait, this means... Don't get me wrong here. I'm not trying to copy Ace or anything like that. Even if he hadn't been the hero back in the big hospital, I'd still be saying the same thing. The same thing? Are you saying... Yeah, I am. I'll stay behind. Why are you acting so heroic all of a sudden? You some kind of idiot? Lotus was the first to speak. That in itself was a little strange. She'd reacted much differently when Ace had volunteered. I'm completely against this. I'll be goddamned if I'm going to have to owe you for getting out of here. The rest of them began to speak all at once. I'm against it too. Motherfucker! I didn't want to leave Ace behind, and I don't want to leave you either. No, I don't like that idea. There's got to be other options. No, I disagree as well. I can't say I care much for you being the hero. Finally, they quieted down. Junpei looked at Seven. Well, there you go, Seven. Proposal denied. Clover's right. There's got to be a better way than this. Seven made some noise that was somewhere between a derisive snort and a cough. Doesn't make any sense. He was doing his best to pretend they were making a foolish decision, but Junpei could see the twinkling of water at the corner of Seven's eyes. That was when Santa spoke. Whoa, hold on a minute. I haven't said anything yet. Until then, Junpei had realized that Santa had stayed quiet for the whole discussion of Seven's fate. Something in his voice made Junpei uncomfortable. Are you agreeing? You want to leave him here? Santa shook his head. Nah, I'm against it. I don't want to leave Seven here alone. Then I don't see how it matters. I said alone. Huh? I said I don't want to leave Santa alone. Jesus, Junpei. There's a dull shine in Santa's eyes. They were cold and hard. Junpei felt himself shiver. What the hell are you... What, you don't get it? I can't leave just one person. I need 2 more. 3 people, including Seven. I'll be leaving behind 3 people. That's my proposal. No. Those are my orders. What do you mean, orders? The hell makes you think you can order us around? Who the hell's gonna listen to you? You all will. In 3 seconds, you won't have a choice. What? 3, 2, 1. Santa was so fast, Junpei couldn't barely see him. When he moved, it was almost like watching a dance. His feet moving like lightning. He spun and... Santa, what? What? Now this doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. He had June. See? I told you. His lips curled into a cruel, mocking smile. A shudder traveled the length of Junpei's spine. His chest froze and he could feel his breath go stale in his lungs. Nothing made sense. Junpei felt as though his head were about to explode. Santa's sudden change in attitude, saying that he needed 2 more. The gun in his right hand, the revolver. Santa grabbed June from behind and pressed what Junpei's shaking brain identified as a revolver roughly against the temple. What was he doing with a gun? Where on earth had Santa possibly found a gun? Junpei's questions roared in his mind, but his mouth refused to ask them. Seven spoke, almost as though he had sensed Junpei's confusion. The gun's from the other room. What room? One of the rooms behind door 6. I should have known he was gonna do this. I should have taken the gun. Huh, well, it's too late now, fat ass. Damn it. A mixture of fury and frustration twisted Seven's face, and he glared at Santa. Santa, for his part, didn't do so much as flinch. The corner of his lip twitched into a slightly wider smile. Then the smile faded and began to move. He walked backward, dragging June with him. Before long, his back was resting against the door. On the wall next to him was the red. He put his hand on the scanner panel quickly, and then forced June to do the same. Now, time for you to start following my orders. Ace, Lotus, congratulations. I've chosen you to come with me. Put your hands on the red. That can't make sense then. I had a theory that that Santa was going to be zero punishing the pharmaceutical dudes for supplying the drugs that possibly killed his sister, but that's not true though if he wants Ace to come out of here. 3 + 6 + 1 + 8 = 18. That was what Santa meant when he said he needed 2 more. Are you deaf? I gave you an order. Santa's eyes narrowed to slits. He glared at Ace and Lotus. They stayed frozen like deer caught in the headlights of an oncoming car. Right. Fine. I didn't want to waste any bullets, but you guys don't get it. No sooner were the words out of Santa's mouth than his hand twitched, and the gun roared. A section of the floor exploded, scattering wooden splinters across the floor. A thin plume of smoke snaked out the hole in the floor. There could be no doubt that the gun was real and worked. But why? Santa, why are you... Clover's voice spoke of betrayal and disbelief. Santa, I thought you were one of us. I thought we were friends. What? You knew about the leaf word and the 4-leaf clover. Santa's cheek twitched almost imperceptibly. The hell is that shit? I've got no idea. You're lying. Shut up. Just shut up, you stupid bitch. You want me to put a bullet in your fucking head? Flecks of spit flew from Santa's mouth. His face twisted with rage. Clover recoiled, her eyes wide. When she spoke, her voice was very small. Santa. He snorted and shook his head vigorously and turned to face Ace and Lotus. Alright, assholes. What are you still standing there for? Get over here and scan those bracelets. I don't have all day. What's the matter? You hearing Santa go? Going senile, maybe? Ace and Lotus still didn't move. It almost seemed as if they couldn't move. June's face was pale behind Santa's arm. Her eyes were wild and her chest heaved with every quick breath, like an animal cornered by a predator. Junpei's mind worked furiously. What were they gonna do? Then he realized something. There was nothing they needed to do. There was nothing to debate. June's safety was the first priority. That much was obvious. Doing as Santa had commanded meant that she would be safe from at least 2 threats. She wouldn't be shot, and she would leave the ship alive, along with Santa, Ace, and Lotus. There was only one thing for Junpei to do. He turned to Ace and Lotus.